Hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
We're back for episode 29 of the Brunch and Judge.
We're almost 30. Yay.
Yay! Gets a little creepier as it creeps up to like my actual age. I'm like, okay,
Right.
all right, it's whatever. We're here for this.
Right.
So, we're your hosts. I'm April,
And I'm Claire.
and we're going to take you on an exciting journey into the world of tarot.
We are. I'm going to tell you the highlights because it's a lot if you go into a deep dive on the interwebs.
Well, I will tell you, I have this week decided to pull a card for every day.
Okay.
It's what my book recommends doing to try and, get into tarot and better understand
Hmm.
your cards. Pull a card every day, kind of look into it, see how it reflects in your day, if it shows up, how it shows up.
Hmm.
Because as the author of Kitchen Table Tarot, her name is Melissa Sinova, highly recommend. Very down to earth, super chill kind of book that makes you feel like, oh, okay, I can do this. It's fine.
And I can't remember which group I saw that recommended in, but there were several people I think it was in That's Why We Drink.
It probably
One
was
of my
there.
and That's Why We Drink groups.
Hmm.
But somebody had recommended it and several people had like piped in and they were like, yeah,
It's
yeah.
really
They're
nice.
like and they're talking about how like and that's right, she's chill, she's not pretentious at
Well,
all.
it's
She's very
very
kind of matter of fact in how she
Mhm.
describes
And it's very
things
like
and
introductory friendly. Like
yes.
I'm not getting like don't get me wrong. You should absolutely we're going to give you the history of tarot, but you should go into all of that if you're going to get into tarot, but
Yeah.
like if you're dabbling and just curious and want to have a good time and get a better feel, this is a great place to start because it doesn't feel daunting. I don't feel like I don't
Right.
know anything.
Right.
It's nice. It's very nice. Um But anyway, so she recommends doing that. So throughout the week, I would get up, I'd draw a card, I'd read a little bit about it, and try and find it in my day. Now, pleased to report, the very first card I drew was Minerva McGonagall herself, the Queen of
Yes.
Wands, which is,
Yes.
I think she's my card. Like, I feel her. And, she's all this like confidence and telling you and getting your shit done and like being motherly, but like in the good way, but also bashing your head in if you're being stupid. And that is literally my job every day.
Right.
Dealing with
You're
my
like,
people.
wow,
Because I'm
this is
like,
apt.
like really and I had a lot of that day where I was just super in charge and confident in getting my shit done and helping my coworkers get their stuff done and all on the same page. I was like, yeah. So like I felt pretty good about it. Then I guess the next day, God, was that Tuesday? Lord. Okay. So,
I know this week
and I
has
say
been
it
like
because the very next day I drew the Three of Swords, which by the way
ah,
is the worst card
right.
in all of tarot.
Because I think
Um,
we've had that. I
we
think we've
have
had that
it's
like
like
twice.
bad shit is coming, kind of brace for it, just hold on to your hats because it's really bad, it's really awful. It could be that somebody dies or there's a huge betrayal. It's like some big horrible ending. And I spent the day like going, holy fucking shit. What's good? Like I'm
You're like,
driving
who's
and
gonna
I'm
die?
paranoid. Like I'm paranoid driving my car, like is someone gonna hit me? Like, oh my God, oh my God.
And then you're like, or is this the day that the bridge finally bites the dust?
Right. Thank you. And so like I had that in my mind all day and nothing bad happened. But it wasn't necessary. What's interesting about the card is that it's a huge earth shattering change, but maybe it's not always a bad earth shattering change because the day I drew that card, this leads into my judge, is
Ah,
the day that they announced that they were going to wipe out $10,000 of student loan debt for everyone who made under $125,000. And I'm like, yes, what?
woo,
And so like, bless my sweet loving boyfriend, he texts me about it because I'm at work. I don't know.
right.
And I'm like, what? And I'm like sitting in my office, which is also a public space, complicated. And I just start crying because I was like, this is actually going to happen. I mean, it's not, we're talking about it and we're mumbling about it. We're announcing it. There's a website,
It's
there's
a thing.
plans, like people are going forward and figuring it out. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Maybe the Three of Swords doesn't have to be something
A
catastrophic.
bad thing. Yeah.
Maybe it's something that is so earth shattering that it changes everything. And for me, that $10,000 going away changes everything. Like it
Hmm.
enables me to pay my loans off, hopefully, by the time I'm 40, which is not that far from now, just a few months away. So, like, it's
Right.
completely life changing for me. I can finally be done with these horrific student loans. So, I don't know. I had other cards on other days and different feels for them, but that one stuck out to me the
Because yeah,
most.
that one.
Because I was like, oh God, something bad, something bad. I'm like, hmm, something good.
Right. Right.
But so
That
my
is very
judge,
uncanny. That's very uncanny that
all
that
right,
happened that way.
thank you. Right. I was just like, okay, sure,
You'll
I'll
take
take
it.
it. Come
You
on,
will
Three
take
of
that.
Swords. Come on down. It'll be fine. But so of course, the very next day, I
Mm,
am inundated with all of the haters who are like, it's not fair,
mm,
where. And
mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to pay for this. I paid for my kids. I don't want to pay for yours. And so I'm here to judge those people yet again.
Oh,
Guys,
oh, got a new one because somebody in my life, I won't name names, was on, I don't know, one of the sites reading news things about it. I don't know where he gets his info anyway.
probably
But
not a good place, but sure, sure.
right. But it was like, oh, well, it's going to cost every single taxpayer $2,000. And I'm just like, you all are acting like we're just going to like write a check
Mm.
for
Well,
$2,000
and
and hand it
so,
over. And that's not how that works.
well, and
Come on.
also, so in case you haven't figured out, guys, my judge this week is a reprise of my
Yes.
judge from several weeks ago of people who want other people to struggle because they struggled and just that ridiculous thing. But here's the thing. I recently read, I mean, there's a million memes out there already. God bless them all.
All the memes.
But I recently read one that basically is saying ultimately all this does is take the 6.5% interest rate that is charged on federal loans and knocks it down to 5%. Everyone is still paying off the student
Hmm.
loan. Everyone is still paying way more than the original student loan was for. It is literally lowering the interest rate retroactively. So calm the fuck down, okay? I have paid off every single dollar that I took out in order to go to school. I have paid more than that at this point, and I still have half of what I took out left. I took out about $30,000 total, and I currently owe a little under 15. So shut the fuck up. It's like
See,
I've been paying on it for 15 years. I
I've
need
got
you
a
to
friend
calm down.
who's, yeah, I've got a friend who initially took out 15,000 teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who do not know, if you were a teacher, you used to be required to get your master's, and you had to start it within 5 years of being
Mm-hmm.
hired as a teacher, and you had to finish it within 10 years. So
Mm-hmm.
they gave you, ample amount of time to get it done. And masters are pricey
Yes, they
when you,
are. Got one of those.
yeah. And so she wound up having to take out a loan to get her master's, which was 40,000. So she had like $65 thousand
Holy
dollars in,
crap, her master's was $40,000. Oh,
yes,
God bless her. I'm super grateful I did a 1 year crash course of hell, but
right,
it was expensive.
right. And so she had like, what, 50, is that right? $55,000 in
Mm-hmm.
student loan debt. She has paid $60,000. Do you know how much she still owes?
Probably $60,000 because
$60,000.
that's how that math works. Okay.
And the same person who was complaining about the $2,000 per taxpayer, I was telling them, well, this is a
Mm-hmm.
situation, and I do absolutely do not have a problem
And
with
that's
that. Like them, no,
yeah.
absolutely not.
And
I
that's
will,
most everyone. There's like,
right,
yes, are there some assholes out there who are somehow are gonna benefit from this in some weird ass way? Probably, but not
right,
really that many because most everybody has this ridiculous amount of money that they can't pay off, that they will spend
right.
their whole lives paying off.
But yeah,
So,
that same person was saying, well, she must not have started paying them. She must have gone like 10 years and didn't pay on them. And I'm
Here's
like, no, she has been paying on them every fucking
yeah.
day since she had to. It's just the interest rate is fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to take, I really feel like student loans, they shouldn't be allowed to charge interest rate.
No.
If they're gonna be that fucking ridiculous,
Hey,
and college
do you know?
college is not going to be free because I really feel like college
It
should
should
be
be.
free.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's
But
free in other countries. Why can't it be free here? Why is it so high? But it's like if you're gonna make kids take out loans to get a higher education, don't fucking have interest rate. I mean,
mm-hmm.
good God, I can't
Well,
even imagine.
and here's a fun fact. So this doesn't apply to anyone who got private loans. It only applies to the
Mhm.
people who got loans to the federal government. But private loans actually had lower interest rates.
Right,
So, and it was just the government fucking over generations of people. So,
right.
thanks. But here's the fun thing. So, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm guessing that that person probably got a PPP loan during COVID.
Oh, you are 100%
And
correct.
I'm betting he didn't pay it back because they forgave all of those.
You are also
So
100%
then he
correct.
needs to shut the fuck up. And as soon as I find, because I know who it is, as soon as I find the public record, because it's public record, because the White
Right.
House is using that to publicly shame these piece of shit Republican
Oh,
Marjorie Taylor
absolutely. And I
Greens
am
to be
here for
like,
that.
shut up. We forgave a loan of 180 something thousand for Marjorie Taylor Greene when she could absolutely afford it.
Right.
So leave us alone. We have actually paid off the debt. So
Yeah.
calm down. Wait.
I mean, for some
So
people, I've like you said, for some people this is going to be life changing. For other
yes,
people, like you said, it's just going to like kind of lower the interest rate.
it's
I
gonna
mean, it's
give them
better
a little
than
bit of help, you know,
yes, it's better
and
than nothing, you
I'm
know.
hopeful that what my because I'm choosing to be positive and feel rainbows and unicorns in this
Right.
moment, but my hope is that the benefit from this will help the economy. People be able to put money somewhere else,
Right.
and that will spur them to continue and make more changes and help other people who have way more college debt, like to knock off more of their debt. Like me, I'm gonna be okay, barring the universe coming at me with disaster, which as we know it can. So, but there are so many people who were not as fortunate as me, and I want more for them because unlike all the people on the social media world, I want things to be better and easier for people. That things that
Right.
were hard for me shouldn't have to be hard for the next group of people. Like I don't if the this is me and my high horse. If the point of life is to not try and improve things and make things better and easier for the people after us, then what the
You're
fuck is the point?
right.
Okay?
Like if
What
you're
in the
just trying
hell?
to make everybody continually struggle
It's like I don't
the same struggle, like yeah.
the only people I want to struggle are the asshole billionaires who don't pay any taxes at all and could have paid off all of our student loan debt and without batting an eye. They I want to suffer.
Right.
Like, but just in the sense of they need to pay their share so that we as an entire country of people can all be lifted up and be better and do better. Like I just
I just feel like
it's
if
very
you look
frustrating.
at like some of these other countries, like how much, and I know no country is
No one
perfect.
is perfect.
I
And
get that. But you look at like how other things like things are done in other countries and you're just like, that seems better than what
mm-hmm.
we are currently doing right now. You know?
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
it frustrates me that instead of looking at those things and being like, hey, here are some things that we like that they're doing. Let's figure out how we can make that work here, maybe
Right.
even lessening some of the cons that they've encountered the way they've handled it. Because, when someone goes first, you get a chance to learn from their mistakes, how you can
Oh,
make it better.
absolutely. Yes.
Instead, the response is, that's communist. We can't do that. And I'm like, no, 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 it's socialist. It's trying to help because here's the thing if you
But even
have
socialist has become like a
I
dirty
know
word.
but I'm like if you have a populace that has access to education and has access to the basic needs and there's not constant struggling then they are able to spend their time doing things that ultimately help the community Whether it's inventing new things, whether it's creating better processes, whether it's just being a better worker because you're not consumed with concern about how you're going to pay your medical debt or how you're going to send your kids to college or if you're going to be able to put food on the table. If you can get rid of those things, the focus is different. And then the community as a
Right.
whole lifts and they get better.
Right.
And I don't understand why the desire to put people down and keep them in these horrific situations just because it makes you feel superior is all I can come up with. Because
Oh,
prosperity
100%.
gospel is 100% the issue of most of America at this point
Right.
is, well, Jesus loves
Or,
me, so I got money, and you're not good,
right.
so you have to suffer.
Right.
If Jesus
Or it's
loved
the
you,
whole
he'd
like
give you money.
mentality of like, I guess I swear if I hear this one more time, pull
Mm-hmm.
yourself up by your bootstraps, which I saw something that said that saying came from like a really old phrasing that was like, pull yourself over a fence by your bootstraps, which that phrasing at the time meant something absurd because that is absurd.
Yeah.
Pulling yourself over a fence by your bootstraps. That is an absurd action. It can't be done. And that was where that came from, was that phrasing, which means it's absurd and unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we still using that phrasing? Because it didn't come from what we now believe it means.
Right.
It didn't mean that at all. So it's like, so really what you all are saying is it's absurd and obtainable, which is kind of what it is,
Which is what
you
it
know.
is. It's like, oh, well, you should magically be able to have a child, keep a full-time job, provide all the things that you need for that child without me having to give you any money at all, even though we didn't provide you with any education to get you a job that would actually support your life or provide you with medical care to keep you from having a baby. Like it's
Right.
such a nightmare.
Yes.
But again, my ultimate number one thing is stop being dicks. Don't be mad that somebody is getting something you're not getting. Fair does not mean, this is the thing that makes me nuts. It's not fair. Fair does not mean everybody gets the same. Fair
Right.
means everybody gets what they need. Do you need $10,000 wiped out from your student loan debt? No, because you don't have any, or you were able to pay it off through hard work, determination, or your parents, or the lottery, or whatever reason that you happen to have. Cool, great. You didn't need it then.
Right.
That's it. It's like, I'm sorry. It's just end of statement. I've paid a lot down in the last couple of years because of the moratorium. Lots of people
Mm-hmm.
did not have that ability. Okay. So they need more. They deserve more than me. And that's okay. I'm not going to get mad about it.
Right.
Like, no, own your
Right.
privilege. God damn it. Just suck it up.
And I saw this TikTok where it was like, this guy was like, and it said boomers, and it was like, the whole like, oh, Biden with the giving all these loans and blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah. And then it like flipped over and it was the same guy, but it said millennials, and he's like thinking in his head, he was like, oh, are you saying literally that this isn't fair? I've waited my whole life for this because you used to say that to me all the
All
time.
my life.
And then it was like he's like, okay, all right, you can do this. Ready? Go. And then he's like, oh, are you saying that it's not fair? Well, life just isn't fair sometimes. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yep.
And I was like, that is the most
Thank you.
perfect
That is the,
thing I have
well,
ever seen.
because it is the boomer
Right.
story of our lives growing up is, well,
Right.
life's not fair. And you're like, well, suck a duck,
Yeah, because I mean, how many times have your parents said that? My parents have said it a ton. I
a
can tell you
ton,
that
a whole
a
lot.
million times. If I had a
Because,
dollar for every time I heard that, I could
right, Christy
retire.
Joe got to wear pants to church and I
Mm,
couldn't wear pants. It's not fair. And my mom was like, well,
right.
sometimes life isn't fair. And it's like,
Right.
and I'm like, I just want to not wear a dress. Why is this so hard?
I know, it's
Okay.
like I just want to, and then and then as we get older, it's like then you can wear jeans, and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. I,
But yeah, it's that
it's not
even as
fair.
little kids, it's not fair. Well,
Yeah.
life isn't fair. Yeah, think you all need to like eat
Mm-hmm.
your own words here, kids.
Right? It's like we've been told this our whole lives. Well, you know what? You're right. It's not fair.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Right? I mean, God,
Yeah.
oh, God. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So.
was like the most perfect TikTok to this whole situation that I have seen, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this week has been maddening.
Yes,
Because
it
like
has.
I think it was the night before, like the day that it happened. I guess like kind of came out toward the evening that that had
Mm-hmm.
happened, and I saw people's stuff on Facebook, and I'm screenshotting, and I sent it
Mm-hmm.
to April, and I said, "Oh, guess this is what I'm gonna hear about tomorrow."
Mm-hmm. It's all
Mm.
right. I'll send them a nice email with a reminder that their loan got forgiven and they didn't need it to be forgiven. They could afford it.
Right,
Just say it.
right.
That's all. So,
I mean, and it wasn't like $10,000 either.
no, it was not. And last time I checked, they took their entire family to a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of them,
Mm-hmm.
all like 20 some of them. So, I'm like, you know what? That's what that PPP loan went for. Cool, 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 cool. You can suck it. Suck it. I watched Psych last night, so.
Ah.
So Claire, what are
Yes.
you judging this week?
I had something earlier and I forgot. It's like my brain is just like, this week has been insane.
I
It's
feel that.
been, I know, I was just like, what was it? What was it? I can't think what it was. I think it might have been something good.
Ooh,
It
that's nice.
might have been a good judge. Like, what was it? Ah, I cannot remember. I need to start like making notes in my phone for these things. God, I can't remember what it was. Ah, crap. I don't know. I might not just have a judge this week. My judge can be your
I was gonna
judge.
say we can just bask in the glow of the judge of the never ending frustration of it's not fair and you should have
Right.
to struggle because I struggled and
Right.
blah 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 blah
Blah blah.
blah blah.
Indeed.
All
We'll just
right.
go with that for now, and if it comes to me,
Eh,
I'll like
it's all
uh
right. I have my last um bit of story is sort of a judge too, so it'll be funsies.
okay. There you go.
We'll have fun with that. All right. So here we are. We are
Hmm.
here. We're here for the tarot. I'm very excited. I'm
Yes.
I'm excited for Claire to tell us the history of tarot. Da, 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 and how
Yes.
it became the ultimate way to scare off evangelicals. Just like hold them up. Like throw them at them, they'll like run away and be like, no, it burns, it burns.
Right, right. I feel like tarot is another one of those things that suffered because of satanic panic
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
Well, I just, there are a few things. I'm not sure why I was telling Spencer this the other day. I was like, I'm not sure why now that I am, basically 40. I'm firmly entering into middle age. If I haven't, I don't know how long I'll live. Well, so we'll say we're middle age at this point.
Hmm.
Firmly entering into middle age, and I am now embracing all of the things that my childhood told me was of the devil and evil and bad and wrong. And I'm like,
Right,
tarot. I'm
right.
I'm here for ghosts. I'm here for all the paranormal stuff. I'm like, let's Claire and I we're gonna do this. We're gonna go on a haunted house tour where we're gonna drive around. We're gonna go to scary fucking places. We're gonna stay there. We're gonna freak each other out because that's what we do. There
Yes.
probably are no ghosts there, but we will get scared
We will scare
nonetheless.
each other. Yes.
And that is all that matters. So
Right.
but I'm like, I want a Ouija board. Bring the Ouija board. Let's what else did they tell me about that I need to be worried about? I mean, I had
Right.
my palm read once. Oh no.
Right. Was any of that fortune telling stuff. I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's just
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
I'm like, enter into my soul, Satan, and take it over. Because apparently all it takes is touching tarot cards, and you have given
Playing
soul
and
to
playing with
Satan.
a Ouija board,
That's right. Mm-hmm.
which I have done and freaked ourselves out.
Right?
That was one of those. We're like, who's moving it? Nobody's
Nobody's
moving it.
here. It's like, but someone was. It's fine. Okay.
Oh, always, always.
But so I was like, yeah, now he's like, normally people do that in like their teenage years. They rebel against the indoctrination of their youth. It's like, meh, it took me longer. I'm sorry.
Right. I feel like it was one of those things like I was just terrified of my dad.
Right. I had a incorrect view of my parents growing up. I thought they were far more religious, like strict religious than they
Hmm.
are. They're actually far more open-minded and understanding and chill.
I don't feel like my view was wrong. I feel like they have changed.
I agree with that.
I feel, yeah, because you would know.
Hmm.
I feel like they have changed
They have
how
become
they see things,
more
how they,
open-minded as you guys
yes,
got older and I think brought different people and perspectives in their lives. I think that made a huge difference.
right. Well, especially for me, like doing theater, I
Mm.
feel like that just like totally was like, oh my God, there's so much more out there to do and
Mm-hmm.
see and people and their experiences. Like, my experience is obviously not the only experience. And as I have gone through life, I have realized that, and Brandon even makes fun of me. He's like, so how is it coming from a normal family? And it's
Right.
like one of those things where it's like growing up as a kid, you're like, God, my family's so weird.
Uh-huh.
But then it's like now you're like, I think I'm in the minority.
Right.
It's like,
If like my parents were together, have been together
yes.
their whole lives, there's never been any kind of fighting. We all get along and authentically like each other and enjoy each other's company. We go on family vacations. Like that's same for
Right.
you. Like it's like
Yeah.
most people don't have that.
Like I really feel like as far as like there's really not with my, my, main family unit, mom, dad, brother, and
Hmm.
his family, like there's not any family drama. There's
Hmm.
no like you get into some of these people and you hear and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't like
Right, yeah.
how do you
You just, people are like, I don't go home for Thanksgiving because it's of whatever. And I'm like, oh, I mean,
right.
we have too much food. That's all I can complain about.
Right.
It's like it gets a little
Right.
obscene on the casseroles, but that's
Yeah,
about it. Sorry.
exactly. But yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Now we're way off topic.
way off topic. Okay. Anyway, so back. Sorry. Um,
Tangent.
so Claire,
Yes.
tell us all about tarot.
I don't know if I'm going to tell you
You're
all
gonna
about
tell
it.
us
We're going
all about this is Tarot 101.
to Oh, I don't know if I'm the right person. You may have been the one who should have done Tarot 101 since you've been doing it.
I don't know. I fall into the whatever feels right is right kind of group for tarot. So.
Yeah, and that was yeah. All right. So, tarot comes from Italy. It's like mid 15th century. It's also known as don't at me on these pronunciations. Trionfi, Taroki, or Terex. So,
Sure.
yeah. Yeah. It was originally a deck of playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was initially used to play games like Italian tarocchini. Um, the use of the card spread all over Europe and evolved into family games such as German Grostarok, French
Sure.
Tarot, and Austrian Königgrufen. Don't at me on.
Koniggrufen. It's
Don't
the
ask.
Koniggrufen.
Yeah, don't at me on
I
these
love it.
pronunciations.
That's amazing. I don't care what it is actually pronounced from now on. It's Koniggrufen.
I didn't even look that up.
It
I just
doesn't
knew.
even matter. It's better this way. It's better this way.
It's better this way. And in the late 18th century, French occultists made claims, allegedly, that the tarot cards had special meaning when you pulled them. So they began using the tarot deck for divination and typical tarot card reading and cartomancy. So the
Hmm.
French occultists were the ones who took this playing card
It's
and made it
always
into
it's always the French. They
it
always
is.
just make everything better. Like, you could play Koniggrufen or you can
Right,
divine your future.
right.
You pick.
And today there are many, obviously, different tarot card decks
Mm-hmm.
out there. But the most common and the one that you probably think of in your head when you think of a tarot card is the Rider Waite Smith deck. And its instructions and how to work it is based on a guy, A.E. Waite, and it was illustrated by a woman named Pamela Coleman Smith. And so both of these people were members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn,
I love it so
or
much.
just
It's the
I know,
greatest
or
name.
just Golden Dawn.
We're members of the Golden Dawn.
I know, not to be confused with golden showers, but
Oh
anyway.
no, not the same. Not the same.
No, no, no. Which was a secret society devoted to the study of the occult, metaphysics, and paranormal activities during the late 19th and early 20th century.
So essentially, we would be in that if it were
Yes.
today,
Yes, probably.
because that's where we are now. That's what we're
We're
into.
just like, I want to learn.
It's like, hey, there's a whole universe out there.
Right.
I gotta know.
So, yeah. So, the cards in the deck, there's 78 cards. So, there's more than like your standard deck of playing cards. They are divided into two groups, the major arcana and the minor arcana. Major arcana, 22 cards, and it's the ones that are like the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, Justice, Emperor, Hierophant, Lovers, Chariot, Strength, Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Hanged Man. I've never had that one, and I don't think I realized that that was a card
Oh,
until I got to looking. I was like, oh,
well, now you've spoken out there, and I can't
I
undo
know.
it. Sorry.
I put that intention out there.
You
Yeah.
you did.
Um, Death, Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, Judgment, and the World.
The world.
Yeah.
They're
We
all
haven't had
the
Wheel of Fortune either, which I was like, interesting.
mm-hmm. To say they're all the if for those that don't know, they're the big picture cards, like the ones that everyone's like, this is the picture, and it's all
Yeah.
very like I mean, like they all have pictures, but like these are
Like it's just like the thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And these are seen as major stopping points in a person's journey through life. Um, has stages and important milestones that shape us as individuals. And the cards are the most decorated and feature symbolic details within
Mhm.
the card. So those
They're
are
pretty.
they are. And like I said, those are probably the ones that you think of
Right.
when you think of tarot
Well,
cards.
and ultimately, in any movie or TV show that has ever had a tarot reading, it's
Right.
always only the major arcana cards that make an
It's always like
appearance. They're
death.
never like, here's the, Two of Cups, and you're like, but this is so much better. That's a great
Right.
card. I want that.
Yeah, but it's always either like death, the
Yes, death.
hermit. I feel like I've heard that one a lot. The hermit,
Mm-hmm.
judgment.
Yes,
Those are the ones
judgment.
that pop up a lot in, pop culture, I guess. And so the minor arcana cards are divided into four groups. Uh Suits, wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. And
Pentacles.
I know, pentacles. And each suit is numbered like a regular deck of cards, like ace through 10. And then they each have four court cards, your page, your knight, your king, and your queen. And the number cards represent everyday life situations that come and go. So if you get one of those cards, that whatever problem it's showing, that will be much easier to resolve than something, say, in a major arcana card.
Mm-hmm.
So the court cards reflect an actual aspect of personality or can represent people who embody certain characteristics. And the suits themselves deal with different areas of our lives. The wands deal with self motivation, creativity, inspirations, and how we use our energy. The cups deal with emotions and our closest relationships and how our feelings and attitudes affect us. The swords deal with mental capacities, thoughts, use of focus, and cognitive abilities. And the pentacles are basically money and material stability. So get a pentacle. It's all about money, money, money.
Yeah, when we were at the beach, this is a random aside. Um, there was a big lotto, I think the Powerball maybe, and
Oh
Dad
yeah, that one where it's like a
randomly
billion
goes and
dollars.
buys random tickets, and so bought Amy and I both a ticket, and so I put it in my tarot card and I surrounded it with the pentacles, and I was like, "Bring me all the
You're like,
money,"
give me the
and
money. Right.
we didn't get anything. I
Aw,
was sad,
that
but I
is
tried. I tried.
sad.
I was like, "I got my tarot cards."
And so when you're doing tarot readings, there are different kinds of spreads. There are like a bazillion out there, but some of the more famous ones, well, usually the person who is doing the reading will hand the deck to the called the querent,
Hmm.
the person who is asking for the reading, and they'll ask the querent to shuffle and cut the deck. And they'll usually ask that person to, like, if you have a question you want answered, ask the question while you're shuffling,
Hmm.
or to set your intention in your mind while you're shuffling and cutting the deck so you can prepare the cards for your particular reading. And most common, or like you can do like what April did, do like the one card, like you just pick a card for
Hmm.
the day. Most common is a 3 card spread.
Which is what
And
we do.
yeah, and we do ours like beginning week, midweek, end of
Hmm.
week. But you can also read it as like a past, present, and future. It can either be a situation, obstacle, and advice, or mind, body, and spirit.
Hmm.
So you can read those. You can do the 3 cards, but you can read them any way you want. Um, or like I said, you can ask a question. It doesn't even have to like be about your day. You can ask a
Hmm.
question and just pull a card
Yeah,
and
and
see
it's kind of
what
like a
that
yes or
one.
no kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like your magic 8 ball.
It kind of is. I've done it a few times, and I'm kind of like, okay.
Right, right, right. And there's also a 5 card spread that you do a layout like a cross, like it's three and then one and one. And the three in the line are your past, present, and future. And the bottom, no, the bottom one was the core reason or circumstance, and then the top one was the potential of the situation. And there's also a rectangle one, which I also think looks like an X because it's like a 2, 1, 2
Mm-hmm.
thing. And the formation is present situation, influences, challenges, outcome, and theme. And there are many different spreads that you can do with these. I mean, they're
Yeah. As I
based
say,
specifically on what you're looking for. Like if you're looking for love and relationship advice, I mean, there were so many different spreads when I was
say
going through
I.
this. And there was one that was like zodiac where you did
Hmm.
like a rainbow and then another rainbow, but it was like 12 cards.
Hmm.
And then there was one that was like, I forgot what it was called, but it had like cards overlapping each other. I mean,
Yeah,
there
I've
were,
done when I do my own, like when I'm asking big questions
yeah.
where I want a lot of thought. I think it's called the Celtic Cross because it is a
That, but I think that
cross,
was one.
but
Yes.
there's
Uh
like
huh.
the first card goes down, the second card goes on top of it, like like this,
Yes.
and
Uh huh.
then there's like 4 cards around it, and then there's 4 cards. It's a total of 10 cards. There's 4 cards to the side, and so like it talks about your situation and different
Yes.
things that are holding you back, things that you need to be aware of in order to go forward, and then like the lineup is basically like leading up to the top card, which is the outcome. And
Right.
it takes a really long time,
Time
a
to,
really,
yeah.
really long time to do that reading. So, like, I've done maybe 3 that way.
Oh,
Um,
really?
so yes, because I mean, it takes a lot. But I find it matters what you're asking. So,
Oh, okay.
like, I did it for our podcast, of course.
You
You
did
know,
it.
and it, basically I mean, to dumb it all down, it was, essentially it's hard if you put forth the effort and you work really hard at it, you'll reap rewards. It wasn't
Hmm.
specific what those were really going to be, but it sounded like we'd be happy with our outcome. So,
Right.
I'm like,
And
okay.
sometimes, and sometimes with the decks, like, I remember you said that you'd heard that people need to gift it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you and I've and, oh, speaking of that, what were my sources? Hang on. Wikipedia, a website called mywonderingfool.com
Love.
and Vogue.com.
Ooh. Oh.
In that Vogue article, there was a guy and he was talking, he mentions that about
Mm-hmm.
how, some people believe that they need to be gifted to you and how, well, what if you don't ever get anybody to gift you anything?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, why would you? He was like, you need to get rid of obstacles like that as far as like, you
Yeah.
know, keeping
I
you from doing it. And he's like, it's perfectly okay to go out and buy your own
Well,
set,
because ultimately it's, as I have what I've read about it, everyone kind of has slightly different interpretations of things. Some people read based on like a book that they have and exactly what it says. Other people take from the pictures. A lot of it is kind of storytelling, like taking the
Yeah.
images and
Hmm.
and what they represent and figuring out how that reflects in the situation you're
Hmm.
talking about. Um, so but it's yours. It's like, again, let's go back to my three of swords that I was
Right.
expecting
Oh, right,
tragedy
right,
and
right.
betrayal and all the bad things. And
You're
then
like,
I was
what
like,
is this?
maybe that's not what three of swords is going to mean to me. Maybe it means
Right.
something different for me. And, we'll see. I don't know.
And if you're going to go buy a deck, then like once you get it, it says you need to like familiarize yourself with the cards,
Mhm.
spend time like playing with it, kind of like what you do.
Yeah.
Playing with them, looking at them, trying to like almost like build a relationship with your cards.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the things that I don't remember it being in this book, but I didn't have this book when I first got cards.
Mhm.
So there are spreads that you can do to familiarize yourself with the cards to figure out what kind of cards they are. Because in the theory is that different cards have different temperaments. So,
Yes. Mhm.
one set of cards might be giving you the unvarnished truth no matter the cost. And another set of cards might be, positive thinking and good vibes. And,
Yeah.
you can get through, like, it's so there's all sorts of different things out there. I like the Claire gave me my first set and I love them. I currently
They're
am
from
using
Latvia.
yes.
Latvia, guys.
I'm currently using the medieval cat tarot cards. They show up a little easier on the camera because they
Yeah.
have
The
more
other ones are
color
really
in
dark.
them.
Yeah.
I do think I'm going to get the Rider Waite deck just because it has so much history behind it.
Right.
Um, and there's a lot of storytelling within the imagery. So, we'll see.
Yeah. And it's like, tarot cards are just like a talking point, when you're getting a reading, you can like you got to talk yourself through it to figure
Mm-hmm.
out. And it's like some people it is very much dependent on the person who's doing the reading, what
Mm-hmm.
kind of reading you're going to get. So it's not like you're going to go to the three different people and get the same thing and how they interpret the cards. And even if
Right.
you're doing it for yourself versus what you're doing, so it's all very subjective. That's the
Well,
word.
and even if you don't believe in tarot cards and you don't think they have any special fortune telling power, they are still useful in kind of talking yourself through situations because it's,
Hmm.
you have this question about something that's going on and you're reading the cards and you're able to identify your fears or your concerns or how outside influences are impacting you because you're looking for connections with the cards. So you're doing some self-work regardless of if you believe that they were given to you by the
Right.
universe or whatever. So, I still think it's fun.
Yeah. And if you're going to like start doing tarot, it says you need to like be in a space that has, positive vibes cleanse it someplace where it doesn't have any like negative energy for you if you're gonna, because it's like anywhere you go, you need to make sure it's like a positive vibe that you're
Mm-hmm.
getting when you're getting ready to read, because then it also helps you set your intention when you're getting ready to do a reading. So that too. It's just, yeah, it was a lot. And I'm just like,
I I like this week I started pulling my daily card and like I'd pull it and then I would go have a cup of coffee at the kitchen table and
well,
read
that's
through
another
my
thing.
book or whatever and I'm like I'm feeling in a good space because.
Well, and it says sometimes you need to get in a good space
Mm-hmm.
before you actually do the reading. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you might need to meditate or, do something that's going to put you in a good frame of mind before you actually
Mm-hmm.
pull your own card if you're doing the daily thing or whatever. So that's also, it's all about like positive vibes and being in a good headspace,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, and it's also, if you're just starting out, it's all about two, trying to find the right tools to help you learn what your style is as
Mm-hmm.
a tarot reader. So, I mean, like you can go out and get a book like what I got April, that kitchen table tarot,
Mm-hmm.
which I got that because a lot of people said it was really great for beginners, and that's why I
Yes.
got it. And they really liked her analogies in the book, that kind of thing. So that was one of the reasons I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a good one to get. So anyway, that's my foray into tarot. I was just like,
Yay.
oh God.
Amazing. I love it.
It was, it was just very, it was like I'm reading, there was like a whole lot of this like ancient history, like back, and I'm like, I can't even with all
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, I need you to speed up Wikipedia.
Well,
Wikipedia, it's like you need to speed that up.
and one
Why
of the
why are you giving me
things,
all this
yeah,
information?
one of the things that you didn't really hit, but just is like a random, I guess,
Yes,
footnote
please,
in the
because
land of
I
tarot because it just
right.
amuses me personally. This is a personal fun fact. Um, so the ones that we are most familiar with, Pamela Coleman
Smith.
Smith, thank you, um, designed and was interested. Like no one has her original drawings; they disappeared in time. Um,
Okay.
but for
They just only
that,
have reproductions of the drawings.
or whatever they kind of morphed into, because I think she did just like ink drawings, and then
Okay.
one of the writer, the wait or whoever,
It was okay.
had them
And the weight
watercolored
guy,
later. So,
yeah. So that's what it was. The weight was the guy who had the instructions
mm-hmm,
on the cards, and she, the Smith,
mm-hmm.
was the one who designed them and illustrated them. And the writer comes from the company that produced them. It was
Oh,
like the
look at
writer
you
printing
doing that. That's
company.
cool. I didn't know
So
that,
that's where the writer part comes from in the writer Waite Smith
but
deck.
so she in the cards that existed before, there are all sorts of cards that existed before of various imagery and whatnot. Um, a lot of them were highly religious cards and had a lot of religious drawings connected to them.
Hmm.
And she changed a lot of that. Um, and made a lot of cards that had religious drawings unreligious and then made some that did not have a religious element, made them religious. So like the lovers card used to be,
Okay.
I don't remember what it kind of was before, but she turned it into basically Adam and Eve, which is a
Gotcha.
very religious thing. But mostly
Hmm.
it became less Catholic, I guess, like imagery.
Right.
And I think that is what made people suddenly decide the imagery was no longer religious, so it must be of the devil. You know what I
It's
mean?
always Satan. Satan.
Because I'm like, it used to be like I don't know that it was sanctioned by the church at any point in time, but it used to have
Right.
that sense of connection, I guess, imagery wise. So, whatever.
Right.
Maybe Jesus had tarot cards. You don't know. He could have.
I mean, from what I'm hearing, he very well could have. So,
That's right. Well, excellent,
but and
Claire.
I
I love
was
it.
looking up some of the other, what was it, the Tarocchini,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just, oh, it just seemed like super
Well,
complicated.
I think
And I'm like, is this like an early version of Rook or
no,
Bridge
what I
or some
understood is that
nonsense?
it was like a like bridge, which I don't understand at all how that game works, so I can't play it. But it
Dad tried
basically
to make
was
us.
meant for playing games that are similar to bridge, which
Mm-hmm.
blah.
See, that's what when I was reading it, I'm like, and Dad. Side note, side story. When Walt and I were younger, my dad liked to do game nights at home, and we had all kinds of games. But he felt the need to try to teach us how to play Rook, and failed because I don't remember anything about it. And then he would take us. This showing my age too on this one. Anybody in London listening? Subinik College
Oh wow.
in London used to have like a bridge night.
They did?
Yes,
Claire,
and
how old are you? I
Dad
don't
would
remember
take
that at all.
us. Dad would take Walt and me and like throw us to the wolves with these little old ladies who were ruthless. I mean, absolutely ruthless when it came to bridge. I mean, it was like
So like,
nobody wanted to play with Walt and me because we didn't know what we were doing.
as I say,
And
it's
these
like,
women
do
were
you know
like
how to
out
play
for
bridge? Is this some secret Claire Allen that I don't know? You
no,
learned to play bridge?
no. Dad was trying to teach us how
I
to
don't
play bridge.
I
I
don't
never caught on
understand.
because I was like 10.
Okay, so again, stupid random aside. Um, I watch a lot of Agatha Christie movies and bridge super common. And so like
Yes.
there are scenes where they're like bidding and it makes no sense. And I'm just
Yes.
like, the
And I
fuck
don't,
what?
yeah.
The what? Apparently
Yes.
7 diamonds is like all of them or something. And I'm like,
But then it's
what?
also you have to try to bid based on what your partner has,
Right.
but you don't know what your partner
Well, and then
has.
one of you lays down all of your cards if you win, like the
I don't
bid, and
know.
then I don't understand any of it. I'm like, excuse
Yeah,
me,
me
what?
neither.
And you're the dummy?
Yeah.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah, Claire was the dummy always in that game. I'm just saying. Because I just remember he would take us to the stupid bridge night at stupid college and like those little old ladies were out for blood.
Did your dad
It was
play too?
like,
Like, did he play with the little old ladies?
I think so.
Huh.
We were all at like separate tables. I was terrified.
Oh God, Joe.
Terrified.
Oh Joe. Bridge.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Fun facts.
Bridge and Rook. Like what? I'm
I
12.
I remember learning to play Rook. I don't remember anything about it now, but I did play
Me
it. But I
either.
think I was at least a teenager when I learned to play Rook. So yeah. But
You know what?
no,
I just
never.
want to
No
like
one in my
I
family
just want to
knows how
stick to phase
to read
10,
Bridge.
okay? Let's just stick to phase 10 where you get the little card
Then
that
it
tells
tells
you what
you
you're
what you're
supposed to do.
doing.
Yeah.
Like, thank you, whoever thought
Oh,
of this.
right. And what was and then when my nerd group they taught us how to play euchre.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was forced to learn how to play euchre for debate teams. Again, let's think back to
Right.
my debate coach. He was
Right.
bananas. So great guy, really. But like forced me to learn to play euchre. I don't want to. Okay,
Although
fine. I guess
euchre
we're
seemed
playing euchre.
way more doable than like bridge or rook.
Fair. But no, like it uses like no cards. I just like I don't understand this game.
Like there were hardly any cards used
You
at
only
all.
use
It was
like
just
20
like,
cards, and I'm like, I
yeah.
don't understand. Whatever. Okay, whatever. It's like, and it weird was it's like sevens and twos. I don't know. It was weird. Threes and four. It was just weird. I don't know. It's a whole weird thing. Okay, we've gone too far, Strig.
Yes. Too many cards. Too many cards. All
All the trauma is
right.
coming to surface.
Yes, I know, right?
All right.
Okay, so what are you talking about with tarot?
So I've brought to you 4 stories, but my first
Or
3 stories are
mm-hmm.
tarot cards in true crime.
Tarot cards in true crime.
Hmm.
Okay.
My last one is just a fun story of revenge using tarot cards. So,
I like a good revenge story.
right, it's nice. Okay, so I got my information from Tampa Bay News,
Mm-hmm.
the New York Post, the Daily Mail, and a YouTube video called Tell Tells.
Tale tells.
It's like, I think it's
Okay.
Telltales. Telltales. I don't know.
Tell tales.
Telltales.
Okay. It's just yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about how a tarot reading led to a confession.
Uh-oh.
This is one of the better stories. I like this one a lot.
Okay.
So it's May 2015, and we're in
Mm-hmm.
Brighton, England.
Okay. England.
And Star Randall Henson, excuse me,
What's his name?
Star Randall Henson
Okay.
goes for a tarot reading at Jane Braden's tarot reading establishment. And
Jane
Star
Braden.
picks out 10 cards at random.
Okay.
Now, this is out of the whole 78 card deck. It's very
Okay.
important because he picked a lot of major Arcana cards.
Okay.
So he picks out 10 cards at random. Of those cards, he pulls the Tower, which is
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Okay.
And, Jane is reading them kind of as they come out, and she says, this suggests that there's been some kind of a serious falling out with someone, some kind of serious fight or argument, something,
Mm-hmm.
like that. The next card is the Emperor,
Okay.
which Jane again saying to Star, it sounds like there's some kind of a dominant male figure involved in whatever situation he's thinking of or is on his mind is problematic. Because again, people go to
Yeah.
tarot readings usually in times of stress or confusion or just uncertainty. Um, then she flips over the devil,
Oh boy.
which, as
My
we
first
know,
card.
everybody panics about. And like, oh god, the devil, the devil. And as soon as she flips over this card, Star starts breaking down. He's crying and he's really upset. And Jane looks at him and is like, look, I can see that something not good is happening or has happened. Like,
What
it's
was your
like,
first clue?
like we've got some cards here that are saying there's some bad shit happening, but also you're
Right.
really, really upset right now. So she's like,
Right.
just tell me all about it. You need to tell me about it. We'll talk about it, because, whatever.
Yeah.
And so Star looks at her and says, it's terrible. I killed him. And she's like, excuse me,
What?
what?
Oh no.
So he tells her that he he killed him and that he didn't
Uh-huh.
mean to and that it was awful.
So we
she's
don't know
just
who
like
him is yet. Okay.
so she's like, okay,
Excuse
well,
me?
I need to call the cops because this became something else entirely,
This is not fun and games
No,
anymore.
and so he kind of was just like, yeah, I understand, you need to call. And so like she steps outside of her shop and she calls 999 because we're in England.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And apparently this happened to be like on a bank holiday, so like a lot of things are closed and everybody's having, like a Labor Day or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like the cops are like, this is a hoax. You're just fucking with us. And so they like
You're like, but no, really.
so they like relegate it to like a non-emergency thing, and it takes them like over an hour before they finally show up, which is fucking ridiculous, by the way.
Right. Right.
So during this time, Jane is with someone who has just admitted to killing somebody.
And so she's like,
So
oh
she's
shit.
like, hey, cool. And so she
You're
sits
like,
there and is talking to him, and the story comes out, and he admits that he has killed his roommate. His
okay.
roommate is an older man named Derek Marney. He was 70 years old. That Star had met at a spiritualist church, and it sounded like maybe he'd been having a rough time, and so Derek was like, "Yeah, help you out, kind of whatever." They'd been living
Yeah.
together for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Star claimed that after he moved in with Marnie, Marnie started sexually assaulting him and actually assaulted him three
Oh,
times. No
snap.
alleged, no idea. Obviously,
Yeah. Like this is just
this
what
is
he
just what
said.
he's
Yeah.
he's saying at this point. Um,
Allegedly. Okay.
he also then explains that he killed his roommate Derek 10 days prior, and that
And where is the body?
the body is in the kitchen floor, and that
He totally pulled like a
he's
Edgar Allan Poe.
just been
Oh my
going
god.
around Like the no, it's laying on the kitchen floor, just laying there. He just walks around it, living his day to day life
Oh,
as the
oh, it's just
body
still in
decomposes.
the
It's
kitchen.
still laying on the kitchen floor
Oh, I bet that
after
smells
10
nasty.
days. Like, holy
That's
crap.
disgusting.
Nobody called about that because, like, that's gotta smell, man. That's gotta smell.
Right. I
So,
mean, at this point, he's probably just trying to find ways to stay out of the apartment so he doesn't
right.
have to smell it.
Yeah. I mean, um, so eventually the cops do come and they arrest him and they find the dead body laying on the kitchen floor.
Uh-huh. Like he said.
Like he said, he'd been stabbed. Yeah, I mean, the kitchen. That's what you do there, I guess. And eventually was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 15 years. Blah 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 blah. But here's the other fun fact. So I told you that he picked out 10 cards, and we talked
Hmm.
about the first three. But the last two that she flipped over were death and justice.
Shut
I
up.
know,
Oh my
right?
God.
I know. I was like, oh my god, I love it so much.
Oh, that's karma right there, people. I
um,
swear.
in a follow up to this story, Jane claimed that she received a thank you from Marnie, um, through a tarot reading that she had later. Apparently, a friend of Marnie, who had been a long time client of Jane's, came
Uh-huh.
in for just a normal reading, and within that, she must have a different set of tarot cards because she pulled a card that she called the medium, which I'm assuming is the magician, but I'm not sure. I
Hmm.
couldn't find anything to tell me. But
Okay.
in that reading, and she pulled that card and insinuated that it was him, like, saying thank you for helping solve my murder, I guess. Like, it was just a whole
Wow.
thing. And I'm like, okay, sure. But I was like, how did how did he pull those cards? Like,
That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts. I
and
mean, what are the odds? What are the
well,
odds
and
of
I
that?
sent you a picture of her, and I picked the one where she's holding like tarot cards, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm here for this. But I was like, holy hell, man! Like, what a way to,
right.
end your day at work. Some guy confessed to murder today while I was reading his tarot, in which he
Right. You're just
pulled
like,
all these horrible cards.
I
Okay,
kind of want to know what the other ones were too.
right? I
Like,
couldn't find those. It's like, I'm guessing they were just random
yeah.
non-major arcana cards because they're not as exciting as you know.
Right, right.
But to pull 5 out of 10, that's
I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
okay. So my next story takes place in May of this year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So recent.
Mm-hmm. In this one's a little sad. The tarot reader does not predict her own death,
Okay.
which is unfortunate. Anna Torres, 51, was known for reading cards for her friends, a few random side people here and there. Like, she didn't do it as like a full-time professional thing. She just kind of did it as a
Hmm.
side gig. Um, when one of her clients, Giuseppe Canzani, came to her house one day and shot her in the doorway of her home.
Oh man.
Um,
She give him a bad reading? Is that what happened?
so when he was eventually apprehended, because he turned himself in eventually, he
Hmm.
claimed she was a witch,
I'm sorry,
and he
but I just kind of want to
believed.
laugh at that.
I was like,
She's a witch.
he believed that Anna had cast a spell on him and cursed him because he was having a spate of bad luck.
Wow.
And so,
Okay.
to me, I'm here for it for just like this is in one of the stories. He said, "If I tell you what's going on with me, you wouldn't believe it. Not for nothing. I'm supposed to be dead already. That's all I know. This woman, you guys will never understand. You would think I'm crazy." And I'm like,
Yes.
we do think you're crazy.
100%. Absolutely. Yes.
Apparently, in one of their readings, Anna told him that the black chief of the NYPD wanted to kill his wife.
What?
I don't know. But he, not long after the shooting, he drove to like a precinct and
Mm-hmm.
turned himself in. So, I mean, like, but I was like, she's a witch and she cursed you, so you shot her and thought that would end the curse. That feels like not
Wrong.
correct thinking.
Right. You're just like, wait, what?
But what got everyone all caught up is that Anna had a son who was a police officer. And so a lot of the investigation at first was spent trying to
Um,
figure out if it was some kind of thing related to him, like if it was like
oh, like
retaliation or
they,
something, and it was like,
yeah.
no, she's a witch. I killed her because
Wow.
she's a witch. I was like, what the hell, man?
Wow.
All right. This next one is an older case, but is in the news currently because I couldn't tell if it's just now going on trial or if they're appealing a guilty ruling. It was muddy and unclear in the article.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Dolores Morgan. She and her son, Ted Connors, are accused of the murder of Dolores's daughter, also named Anna. Uh,
Okay.
in 1994, Anna was stabbed to death in her apartment. So
Wow.
the police believed that Dolores had Anna killed in order to keep her from talking to police about drug deals that the family were doing or something. It's
Wow.
it's very unclear. It seems to all be based on some dude who claimed that he was approached to do the killing or maybe did or something, but
Okay.
like his story is very not real. It was very just like I was reading about it and I was like, you can't
You're like,
you
I don't
can't believe
believe
this
this.
guy. This is confusing.
This is trash.
But I only bring it up because Dolores, in a separate news article, not only claimed that she was innocent from her daughter's death, but that earlier the week that her daughter died, she had done a tarot reading and it warned her that death was near and that it would be someone close to her. So she's like, no, I didn't do it, but the tarot cards told me it was coming. And I was like, I don't think that
Oh,
helps your court case, but cool.
no, not at all. Nope.
So,
In fact, it might be, oh, I'm going to speed this
right?
along,
It might be like, oh, maybe it's telling me I need to do the kill. I don't know.
Right.
Can you imagine like you pull it and you're like, someone close to me is gonna die? You're like, haha, that's right, they are. You know, like we don't know what happened next.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So those are my three true crime stories in which tarot features itself in unique and different ways.
That's the truth. Man, who would have thought?
But so now I bring to you an epic story of revenge.
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Claire, are you familiar with Greg Locke?
Oh, unfortunately. Absolutely unfortunately.
So
I wish I'd never knew who that guy
for
was.
those of you who don't know who he
He's
is a
trash.
quote unquote pastor at a mega
Mm-hmm.
church in Tennessee. It doesn't really matter where it is. It's like Mount Juliet. I don't know.
Yeah, Mount, I
Tennessee.
think it's Mount Juliet. Yeah.
Mhm. So this particular mega church, for some reason that I don't understand, I guess to go with the sense of revival bullshit all the time, holds their services in like a giant circus tent. And no, the irony is not lost on me that they hold their services in a circus tent.
Right.
And the floor is like wood chips, like it's not a floor, it's outside.
Yeah.
And that's important
It's
for
a
later.
literal turd circus. So,
So this particular guy is a conspiracist, QAnon piece of shit who just spouts nothing but hate and vitriol all the time.
hates women, hates,
So like,
he's one of those who's like, women belong in the kitchen.
well,
All
and
right, do what your husband says.
hates Democrats. He's like, if you're a Democrat, you can't you have to leave. You can't be here. If you can't vote that
Yeah,
way and be a Christian, like I watched
he
it.
is
It
an
is
uber
horrific.
Christian nationalist, 100%.
Um, Pretty much disgusting filth. I might have mentioned
Yeah,
to you the concept of cookie days, where it's not really celebrating the death; it's just being like, okay, the universe has balanced itself a little. I'm going to eat a cookie.
Yeah.
He's on the
Right.
list. He's on the cookie day list because
Right.
he's just that horrific. So apparently, a few months ago, so this is also within this year. Woo.
Okay.
Apparently, a few months ago, there had been a little bit of a power struggle within this mega church of bullshit, in which some people were not super thrilled with what he was doing or how he was
Uh-huh.
handling something or whatever. So he did what any good evangelical piece of trash that has never actually understood the concept of the Bible would do, and had a literal modern day witch hunt in
I
which
remember him. I remember there was a TikTok.
mm-hmm,
Somebody I follow all these like people who are like deconstructing Christianity
mm-hmm,
because
yes,
emotional trauma,
ugh,
like we've all discussed.
right, so much trauma,
But there was one where it was him talking about that, where it was like he was gonna start giving people's like headdresses out.
yeah.
And I'm like,
So
what in the fresh hell is this
he
nonsense?
was
Like,
claiming that there were actual witches that had
yes.
infiltrated his church in order to try and take them down from the inside. And they
Mm-hmm.
had the first and last names of six witches and addresses for at least one of them in the church. And it turned out it was two people that he was referring to. And they've done interviews and they're like, he's insane. you know, they're like, what
Right.
the hell? Um, but so like he's constantly talking about getting the witches out, and he apparently has had some pushback being like, we don't have these problems, from other people being like, we don't have
Right.
these problems in our churches. We don't have witches and demons coming at us all the time. So like,
Right.
why is it just your church? And his reply to that is everything to me, by the way, because it is 100% that thing that makes you just snort with drifts of laughter, because his reply is, well, that's because they're not, there's nothing in your church worth going after. They've already infiltrated everything. So it's like, of course, you're not
Oh
having these
my
problems because you're
gosh.
not the right church, basically. And I'm like, oh my
It's such
fucking God, I
bush.
hate this shit so much because he's a
Oh, it's such
horrific human
bush.
being. So,
Yeah, because because he's worth going after. Oh, please.
right?
Satan already has him wrapped up.
So like he of course has, yes. So like he's been kicking out his Democrats and the witches and all this
Uh-huh.
stuff. But he is so concerned about the grasp that these witches have had on his congregation. He's trying to make sure to get them right, and had a big burning service
Oh gosh.
in which I was like, are they gonna burn a witch? What the hell is
I
happening?
know, right?
So can't burn a witch. Oops. But you can burn other stuff. So they built a big bonfire and had everybody come and bring all the stuff that needed to be burned that was, of the devil, including, of course, tarot cards and Ouija boards, obviously,
I
books.
mean, don't they
Got to
know
burn
that
the
Ouija
books that
boards
are
don't
bad.
burn?
Huh?
Don't you know that Ouija boards don't burn? Haven't you ever heard that?
They come back.
It's true.
So like they're burning, the stuff. They're burning books, of course, because God forbid we let those continue on. But they're also burning like Harry Potter merchandise because
Oh
it too, of
God.
course, is evil and of the devil. But my very favorite thing that they were burning, because I was watching the YouTube video Telltales,
Mm-hmm.
and so like in this box is literally like a Maleficent head and like Disney villains merchandise, and I'm
Oh
going,
my
oh my
gosh.
God,
Lord.
it's so stupid.
And to which you want somebody to start singing poor unfortunate souls to these people
Right.
because they are poor unfortunate
So
souls
like
following this
this is
tragedy.
happening, and this is where the revenge plot starts. So some random guy, I don't know who he is, but I'm here to applaud him because I can't believe he did this surrounded by all these ridiculous people,
Right.
where there's a fire, takes a Bible and throws it into the fire, and he's all like, hell Satan, blah blah blah, like being like, fuck you guys and your stupid whatever. And so they're like chasing him off the property or blah blah blah. But like I figured they'd
Oh
like
my
throw him
gosh.
in, and they didn't. I'm like, okay. But so
Right.
lots of people are fucking pissed off about this. So they're
Right.
doing revenge in the most interesting ways. Now, remember, I told you about their circus tent and how they have wood chip floor, right? Just a bunch of
Yes.
mulchy wood chips everywhere. They've been burying things in the wood chips to be found, like tarot cards
Oh my God, that's funny.
and pentagrams.
That's hilarious.
And like it has made this asshole so irrationally angry that like
Of course
it's
it has.
everything to me. I'm like, that's right. So he
He's
is
just an angry person
he's
in
an angry
general. Like
person.
whenever
Yeah.
you see
He's
him
always
talk,
like,
he's just
"Bah, bah,
like,
bah." Yeah,
whoa.
he's a hellfire brimstone
It's like
yeller
you're gonna stroke
thing.
out any minute now.
If only we're that lucky.
Right.
But so like it has made him so irrationally angry that he is removing all the wood chips and putting down turf so that people can't do that anymore. And he's like, I know we're going to find us a Ouija board in here. We're going to have to pray. And I'm like, you go right
Oh
ahead.
God.
But all I want to do now is I just want to be like sending him tarot cards and like making
Right.
donations to the Democrats in his name and donations to like
Right.
abortion, Planned Parenthood, and stuff like that in his name so that they mail it to him and I can just be like, go
And
ahead
then
and get
you're like,
on.
I really wish I knew his email and I'd sign him up for all these Democrat like
I'm sure it's easy
fundraiser
to find
emails.
because it's a mega
Right.
church. I'm sure one could, but
But you know, do things like that.
I just was like,
Sign him up for all those Democrat fundraising emails.
but I was like, I don't know who you are, and I'm sure you're not listening to this episode, but on the off chance that you are, if you are one of those magical people who has been burying tarot cards in the wood chips of this piece of shit church,
Right.
we love you. Like, what a
Yes. We want to
hysterical,
give you a cookie
yeah,
for that.
what a hysterical act of revenge to be like, God damn it, this piece of shit.
Right.
So
That's fantastic
I just
and
wanted
beautiful.
to share that beautiful story of revenge and how tarot cards can help make the world a better place if we just try.
Right. Oh, that's pretty magical. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
I
yes,
love
it
that.
is.
All of those stories were pretty wild.
I know. It's like, let's go somewhere with this, shall we? So yeah,
That's nice. Oh wow. All right.
I guess that means
So, in the spirit of tarot,
it's time for tarot time
tarot time
with
with
April. Ah,
April.
spooky, spooky, and maybe a little revenge too. Who's to say? Are we ready to
I'm
raise
ready.
the tarot cards?
Right. Let's do it.
I will remove my box from view now. All right. I will tell you, I have been shuffling these because I was pulling Aggie's tarot cards. There's a lot of claws in hers, by the way. It's very sharp.
Okay,
Very sharp
gotcha.
future for Aggie Cat.
Very sharp.
All right. I will let you tell me when to stop.
Okay.
The cards are being shuffled. They're gonna tell us our future, and even if they're wrong, we can put them in the wood chips at Greg Lock's stupid church.
Oh crap.
What can I say?
Just email. We'll just mail them all to Greg Luck.
I just kind of want to like send him like the death and the justice
Judge,
and like
judgment.
judgment. Oh, just
Judgment.
send all the judgment cards. That should be our.
Yeah,
That should be our new thing. Everybody, just mail judgment cards to Greg Lock.
Greg Luck. Please.
Just the audacity of thinking that
Right.
your church is the only one doing it right. And I'm like, God damn you, piece of shit.
Stop.
That's how it works.
Oh, I know. There's nothing at your church worth doing. It's like, whatever. Who to you, sir?
Right?
Who to you?
Ugh, gross. Gross. Okay. We're starting with the I
Mm-hmm.
can't. It's dark in here now, sorry. The Four of Cups.
All right.
Going to the Two of Swords. We can't ever get through a
Uh-oh.
week without swords. Have you noticed?
I know.
They're very pointy. And ending with the Nine of Pentacles.
Money, money, money.
So very minor everyday problems for us.
That's right.
All right, okay. Starting with our Four of Cups, which is in the minor arcana, we call them the pips. I don't know why, but we do. I
Uh-oh.
just love the first sentence. This card can be defined by the word meh.
Okay, so we're starting our week off meh.
So
Okay,
it
good to
feels
know.
pretty accurate for my life. The person is being particular because they know what they want, possibly avoiding an unsuitable partner or a job that doesn't fit them. Maybe it's best to sit under a tree with your arms crossed until the right one comes along. Because, and as you can see, his arms are crossed. I think you can see it.
Gotcha.
His arms are crossed. He's got his cups, and he's like, poof. This card has been related to the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, not budging until the truth wanders along. He's so focused on his inner life that the cups are going ignored.
No.
So, meh.
Meh.
I'll take meh. Meh's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
There's so many worse things out there, let me tell
right.
you. Okay. Two of Swords. Our midweek. I think that there is a point in nearly everyone's life where you realize that you're alone.
Great. Fantastic.
Maybe it's after high school, sitting in your dorm room. Maybe it's after you leave your parents' house for the last time without looking back. Maybe you feel alone after you've gone from parents to college to husband to single, and you're splitting time with your kids for the first time. Maybe your parents have died or gone,
Oh
and
no.
you're the grown up now. Oh, God.
Right.
We've all got someone theoretically. We didn't hatch. As I grow older, though, I realize that the process of growing up will strip people away from you. Friends will betray you. People will go weird and stop calling. Your family isn't perfect. And suddenly you look around, and instead of two tables full of cousins on Thanksgiving, it's just you and a cat. I have two cats. Thank you.
That's so sad because it's true.
Or maybe you're lonely and in a relationship. There isn't anything lonelier in the world than sharing a bed with someone you can't talk to. Oh, God.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
Let's skip forward and find what else this is. Okay. I call the Two of Swords the shut the hell up so I can hear myself think card.
Okay.
It's about being alone. This woman has grabbed a chair, a blindfold, and a few swords and marched herself out into the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Sure. All of her other senses are cut off. She doesn't need external influence for the decisions she needs to make. She doesn't need distraction. She is alone and okay with that. That is something she needs to figure out for herself. In the wandering narrative of tarot, this is what happens after the shock of alone goes away. When you realize you don't need the world's chatter to make sense of your life. The moment when you wander away by the shore, pull up a seat on a bench, and blindfold yourself against distraction. Shut up. I mean, that was a really sad opening,
Tarot.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh,
Right,
God.
right. I was like, oh geez.
But really, it just means shut the hell up so I can hear myself think. It's like just taking alone time to figure out your shit. Because
Right.
ultimately, that whole no man is an island is a bullshit. We are all islands. Every
Right.
last one of us. You can't hear my thoughts. They're
It's like Simon and Garfunkel had it right.
mine.
I am a rock. I am an island. Yep. And a rock feels no pain, and an island never cries. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, someone needed therapy. Got it. I hear that. I hear it.
I love that song.
Interesting. Okay. So starting off meh, having some alone time to figure our shit out because we just need to think. And now we're going to end our week with the Nine of Pentacles. Are you ready?
Hope that means some money is coming our way.
Look at the woman's right hand. It's lightly resting above a pentacle.
Okay.
I mean, I guess technically, yeah. As
I
she
have a question. Is
admires
she
a
doing
pretty
this
bird
book?
on her left.
Is this book based off of
The
the
Rider Waite
writer?
Smith deck.
Okay. Okay.
My cards are usually fairly similar. These are, I've noticed that their
Mm-hmm.
depictions, like in this one, it's a woman holding a bird in her left hand. This is a cat holding a bird in his left hand.
Okay.
So they're
Gotcha.
they're similar without being the same.
Gotcha.
This woman is at peace in her garden, breathing. It's lovely, really. Okay. This card speaks to gratitude and confidence. It's about treating yourself as well as you treat the people you love, and it's the result of hard work and perseverance. Aw. 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 This is the bounty that the Seven of Pentacles was working so hard to uncover, the fruits of the perfectionism of the Eight of Pentacles. So essentially, we're living in a happy little garden by the end of the week.
Okay. That doesn't sound too
Taking
bad.
care of ourselves.
Pretty
Because
good.
treating ourselves well, self-care and happiness. So,
Treat yourself.
time alone to think, and then taking care of yourself. That sounds okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't sound like a terrible week.
I mean,
That does not
I'm sorry,
sound
but
like a
any
terrible
Monday that
week.
starts with just meh and isn't like shit show, I'm here
Right.
for. Because most of
Right.
my Mondays are just shit shows.
Right. You're just like, no.
All right, so there you have it. The tarot for the week of Tarot Week. You're welcome. All right. It is now time to learn our fate on the Wheel of
Of
Fate.
All right. See what we got.
It's gonna be something good, spooky, happy, scary, all of the above.
Scariest shit ever.
Scariest shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited because I want all the spooky season right now.
I think I know.
I just I love
I
I just
know.
want to be scared and freaked out, so we have to record at night so that my lights can turn out and I scream. But it's fine.
I'll leave that one on there. I'm sure there
There
are
are so
several
many
things.
things that scare the absolute shit out of me.
Right.
That I'm like, please don't ever let me see this. I don't want to ever see this.
What was it? You were wanting the black-eyed
The
children or
black-eyed
something like?
children. Oh god, so
Yeah.
scary. So scary. And that might be what I do this first time because they're so
It's so scary.
scary. Do you know about the black-eyed children, Claire?
Not
Okay,
really.
be prepared for nightmares. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not like the Appalachian Blue people, is it?
No, but comically, my mother was just telling me about them on our phone call earlier today.
Really?
Because apparently in Kentucky, you couldn't, if you were not a blue person, you could not marry a blue person because you are not allowed to marry people of different color. And I was like, they considered blue a
What?
color? I don't understand. Like
Right. Like
I'm
that's just
lost. I'm out.
weird.
I have no idea where we are now.
For all of you who don't know, blue people, it's a thing. Go look it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, they were just so inbred that they turned their skin had a blue tint to it.
So
So go
royalty
look
is
it
what
up.
we're
It's
looking for.
real.
You're looking for the word royalty.
Right.
Okay, well, until next time, when Claire and I will be telling you the scariest shit ever. So
Mm-hmm.
just be prepared because, like, every time we do the scary things happen to us. So just,
It's true. Yeah.
be prepared. All right. So until next time, you can find us on all the things and all the places. Please like and subscribe and follow and love us and share us with everyone you've ever met. Thanks. And you can
Yes.
find us at.
Because we want to do this as a job.
Oh, sorry, you cut out. You
Oh,
froze.
I was going to say, yeah, because we want to do this as a job.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right, and you can find us at all of these places at.
Brunch and Judge.
Great. And if you would like to send us some topics for our wheel, especially if you have specific scary shit things that you want us to talk about, because I don't know them all.
Right.
And I love terrifying myself because I don't sleep alone currently. So it turns out okay for me.
I do.
But anyway, you can send us any ideas, any stories that you want to share with us too.
brunchandjudge@gmail.com.
Excellent. So until next time, get those tarot cards out, start practicing, and keep on brunching.
And keep on judging.
Bye.
Bye.
Brunch and Judge. Brunch and Judge.
asked for.